On North Korea, the president tweeting not so long ago his thoughts, and they are these. North Korea has announced that they will dismantle a nuclear test site this month ahead of the big summit meeting on June 12th. Thank you. A very smart and gracious gesture. It's interesting to hear one of those reporters point out the blatantly obvious that the president's tone, especially via Twitter, has changed toward Kim Jong-un. Of course it has. You've agreed to sit down and enter into negotiations. What are you going to do? Antagonize the person that you want to try and win some concessions from? Of course not. So, you're going into a major set of talks. I'm calling it the summit of the century. It's, still early in the century, so I think I can call it that. But the bottom line is this is more than just window dressing I think we're seeing from Kim Jong-un. I firmly believe that this guy in the back of his head wants to be some sort of international hero. And I think that President Trump has got him right where he wants him.
I agree with you that Kim Jong-un has a motive of his own, and I would never underestimate him, though, to what those motives are. We're talking about a third generation that has had one sole purpose: to basically take over the entire peninsula, and with that have nuclear technology to do that. In order for them to scare the heck out of the world, they had to have those nuclear weapons. Well, what happened is Kim Jong-un went over to China and they told him to flat out stop doing it because the radiation from their own technology was seeping over to China. So I don't know what his motives are right now. The second thing that a lot of people don't realize is that the Constitution of North Korea essentially states that they must take over the peninsula, and it is up to every North Korean to make sure that that happens. Their power is based upon this one ideology. Their power is based upon him being a deity. So I'm not sure how he's going to manage to still be this supreme leader when he brings in some type of democracy. I think it's very hopeful that people are saying, we're going to bring in Western technology, we're going to build an economy. Slow your horses down, because you're going to have to hold this man accountable for the humanitarian violations that he's already committed. I think the president is playing this very smoothly right now.
I don't know if we're going to see democracy in North Korea, but I think we have the potential to see some kind of paradigm change here. I think Mike Pompeo, Secretary of State, hit the nail on the head when he's kind of dangling a carrot in front of Kim Jong-un. Hey, we're going to help your people. We're going to help your economy. Now, on Iran, the president also weighing in on that and how Iran is apparently, possibly changing its ways. I don't know, it kind of depends on how you read the tea leaves, but he's saying, remember how badly Iran was behaving with the Iran deal in place. They were trying to take over the Middle East by whatever means necessary. Now that will not happen. I'm looking for a couple things here. One, the possibility of a new deal, not redoing the original Obama-Iran nuke deal, but the possibility of a new deal. I'm watching that. And number two, I'm watching what Europe does. Because Europe's got to come up, in general, with a decision here, whether you're going to continue to do business under the JCPOA with this terrorist regime or you're not.
Well, Europe has billions of dollars at stake. We know over $4 billion with Germany alone. They all have their own invested interests, and it isn't world peace. It's about dollars. It's about their capability to supply the Iranians what they want in order for them to profit off of it. And I think President Trump completely recognizes that they have their own motives. The Iranians can't be trusted as much as Kim Jong-un. In fact, they are in business together with the weaponizing and the nuclear facilities and capabilities that Iran has been able to get out of North Korea. Iran does want to be a supreme leader of all of the Middle East. And the best way for us to do this is to squeeze them so tight that the regime fails, that the regime collapses. Because the Iranian people have always supported Americans. It was essentially when the Ayatollah Khomeini took over and established this type of regime that implements Sharia law and doesn't allow freedom or democracy within their people. The people know what they once had. It wasn't that long ago. It was within most of our viewers' lifetimes that this happened. It wasn't that long ago. And the Ayatollah is a regime that will penalize people for having outspoken thoughts, outspoken ideas, any other type of religion, and let alone Christians, Jews, and homosexuals can be killed. So we must recognize that this is a regime that is brutal to its people, only surpassed by North Korea. These people have no humanitarian ideals. So let's wait and see. Let's hope that President Trump squeezes this regime to a point of submission.
Yeah, but again, Europe has to play ball here too, because they could be funding the terrorist regime if they continue to do business with Iran.
Well,
and it's a shame because,
Well,
you know, here we
yes.
had Iran basically at their financial knees. And Obama comes along and he infuses tens of billions of dollars for them to go and fund all kinds of terrorism around the Middle East and around the world. It was a huge, huge mistake. So again, I think we got to watch Europe. We have to see what they do, and hopefully they're gonna get the picture here and back off and not live up to the opening given to them in the JCPOA. Jessie Jane.